point presentation by Azim. We appreciate so much, and we expect to hear more from you soon. So we'll move to the next one, which is let's invite Louis Smith as he handles the opportunities at X1 Properties and the current projects ongoing. Over to you, Louis.
Yeah, thanks everyone for inviting me today as a panelist, and thanks to Azim and Emmanuel for your introductions as well. So just give a bit of background before we get into the project. So I'm Louis Smith, the Commercial Director at X1, and we specialise in property development and also property lettings. So we established back in 2009, and to date we've done over 40 developments, equating to just over £1.2 billion development GDV. As Azim mentioned, so typically 80% of our buyers are purchasing for investment and buy-to-let. So our key hotspots, so we're actually headquartered in Manchester. So typically the northwest, the northern powerhouse of the UK is where we see the most growth and the most rental demand and rental yields. So just touching upon the question regarding the annual return. So the latest Zoopla property report from March this year, from March last year, actually showing that Manchester was the highest performing city in terms of capital growth. So during peak COVID, Manchester property prices increased 6.5%, which was more than any other UK city. Birmingham was around 4% and London was just 1.8%. So that just shows, how strong and resilient the Manchester market is, and obviously during a pandemic as well. In terms of rentals, you're looking at around 6%. So we actually guarantee the rent at 6% per year. So combined with the capital growth, you're looking at a possible return of up to 12.5% per annum. So if I just share my screen, and then we can dive into some of our current projects. I think if I could just be enabled the host just to share my screen. Yeah, I think Lowell, if you could just, yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, so today I just want to do a brief introduction, who we are as a developer, our company track record over the last decade, the services we offer, and obviously our company ethos and what we believe in. And then we'll talk about our latest projects, our latest investment opportunities, two being in Manchester, so Michigan Towers and Manchester Waters. We'll also have a look at the Manchester property market, why Manchester is such a buy-to-let hotspot at the moment, the pros and cons of investing in Manchester. And then we'll discuss our down south, so southeast of London project, Chatham Waters, which is completed, and then obviously Q&A and feedback at the end. So as I mentioned, so X1, we established back in 2009. We've developed over 7,500 units, which equates to just over a £1.2 billion development GDV. We don't only offer property development, so we also established back in 2009 our own lettings and management company, X1 Lettings. So we've seen, because quite a few of our clients, national and international clients, wanted a full package service from developing a property to obviously on completing, managing and letting the property for them. So we realised it was important to also have a lettings arm of the business, and yeah, we can, we complete the properties, build the properties, and then manage and let the properties for clients as well. Our headquarters, as mentioned, is in Manchester, but we also have offices in Leeds, Liverpool, and Chatham, Kent as well. So just to have a look at our current property portfolio and track record. So this is the Chatham Waters project, which we'll discuss in a little bit more detail later on. So this is completed in January. A couple of projects we've completed in Liverpool over the years. A Manchester project that we completed last year. So last year, we completed 5 projects, 4 being in Manchester. So we've seen just a small marginal delay with COVID from a construction point of view. So the longest delay we've seen because of COVID was 6 to 8 weeks. That was mainly just due to the new restrictions and requirements the contractors had to take when obviously working with the workforce. So X1 the campus will be a student project we have done. So mainly we focus on residential. So 85% of our portfolio is residential, but we also do a couple of purpose-built student accommodation projects as well. And then a couple of other Manchester projects we've completed on also. And then this will be the Manchester Waters project, which will be one of the opportunities I'm discussing today. So this will be right on the waterfront, right next to Manchester City Centre, and will be 5 towers in total. So without further ado, Michigan Towers. So this is our latest investment opportunity in Manchester. So we released this project at the end of last year. So X1 Michigan Towers is our brand new residential multi-phase development consisting of 4 towers, so just over 1,300 units. The towers will be constructed sequentially, so towers 1, 2, 3, and 4 over an 8-year master plan. So it generally takes around 24 months to construct each of the towers, with Tower 4 being the shortest tower, which will be around 18 months construction. The accommodation breakdown, so we have townhouses, 1, 2, and 3-bedroom apartments. And generally from a rental point of view, the 1 and 2 bedrooms generally the most popular and the most demand, but there are only 9 townhouses in the development and only 1 3-bedroom per floor as well. So we would expect in the case of Michigan Towers for all the apartments to be fully tenanted very fast. The location of the project is in Media City. So Media City is the media centre of Manchester. So you've got 250 businesses located in Media City, including BBC, ITV, Kellogg's, Huawei, Bupa Private Healthcare, as well as the Zone University campus. So it's currently undergoing £1 billion investment, which I'll show you later on. But these are the type of investment master plans which investors see the opportunities and obviously the capital growth in short term to 2 to 5 years. And you can see quite a significant return. So the estimated completion for Tower 1, so it is off plan. So obviously you can benefit from the off-plan prices, which can further lead to high returns. And Tower 1 is estimated to complete Q2 2023, so just over 2 years from now. So if I just briefly show the launch video for this project to give a further insight of Michigan Towers. So this would be the Media City area, which I was discussing. So about 2 miles west of the city centre. And this would all be where all the 250 businesses are located here. You've got BBC offices, ITV, hotels, university. You've got the Lowry shopping centre here as well. So one of the largest shopping centres is in Media City. For football fans, you've got Manchester United Old Trafford Stadium just behind here as well. So from Michigan Towers, you do have a couple of apartments with Manchester United Stadium views. And then one of the main features why occupiers and specifically tenants like to live in Media City, it's a little bit cheaper than the city centre, so obviously the rental yield's higher, but you've also got the water feature and obviously the water keys flowing through Media City, which obviously you don't have in the city centre. So this would be the £1 billion expansion from Peel Holdings. This is currently under construction, and I'll show you the master plans of what Peel are an investment, multi-billion pound investment company, which built Media City from scratch back in 2007. And then this is phase 2 of their expansion in Media City, which is set to double Media City in size, and is a £1 billion master plan. In terms of connectivity, so you've got 2 tram stations outside the project. So you've got a tram station here and a tram station here, which go directly into Manchester City Centre. You've got 1 change line to get to Manchester Airport, and you can also access the other Manchester landmarks directly from this tram. The main way to get around Manchester is using the electric Metrolink tram system. So it is vital from obviously, if you look to buy a property, to have close proximity to a tram station. So one of my personal favourites about this project compared to the other projects we've done since 2009 is the focus on the landscaping and the public realm. So in between each of the blocks, with a variety of different landscaping, garden areas, retail and coffee shops at the bottom of each of the blocks, generally just to make Michigan Towers more than a standard residential accommodation, a place where people can visit even if they're not staying in the project. So back to the presentation. So as I mentioned, 4 towers in total. So Tower 1 would be 30 floors in height, Tower 2, 34, Tower 3, 40, and Tower 4, 13 floors. And another way to distinguish each of the blocks, as well as the numbering, is by the external colours. So the architect actually designed the external facades to mirror a metallic type of finish. So Tower 1 is a gold type of metallic finish. Tower 2 is a rose gold type of metallic finish. Tower 3, a deep type of steel or platinum type of finish. Tower 4, a bronze type of facade. So this would be the exact location of Media City. So just a short 2 miles from the city centre. So it's about 3 stops or 2 stops from the tram at Michigan Towers. And then you can also see here the location in respect to all the shopping centres, the 250 businesses, the university, and also Manchester United Stadium here as well. So to provide a bit of background, or a bit of a story about Media City. So as I mentioned, Peel Holdings, they built Media City. So that back in 2007, they did a joint venture with Legal & General. So L&G are one of the largest insurance pension fund companies in the UK. So they invested £650 million back in 2007. I mean, you can see how Media City looks like after that £650 million investment here. So this is all part of phase 1 Media City, which is how Media City looks today. Phase 2, so a further £1 billion expansion 15 years after their first initial investment. So this is under construction. So the construction started on this master plan last October, and this will be 10 new towers in Media City, mainly office space. So obviously that's going to Michigan Towers being targeted at residential tenants. And the tallest tower in the Media City phase 2 will actually be 25 stories, which makes Michigan Towers the tallest buildings in Media City and amongst the tallest buildings in Manchester as well. So Michigan Towers would be just left of these orange towers at the bottom of the left of the screen, so just over the tram line, so directly opposite this expansion. Here's another angle of the master plan. So it's set to double Media City in size, not just in terms of investment value, but also land mass. You can see here also how this expansion looks. So just a few reasons why Manchester, why Manchester's been the #1 investment location in the UK. I'd say over the last 10 to 15 years. So it's been repeatedly voted by HSBC as the #1 buy-to-let hotspot in the UK. So average yields in Manchester typically 69% higher than those in London. House prices increasing as well. So coupled with the appreciation and rental, house prices increasing around 6 to 7% per year. So a great example of that, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, was during the peak of a pandemic, Manchester property prices still managed to increase 6.5%, which is quite ridiculous, to be honest, because it's the height of a pandemic, you wouldn't expect such a substantial increase. So around 6 to 7% is the general guideline for property appreciation in Manchester. These type of investment programs, so the likes of the Peel Master Plan, we do see actually it's quite a significantly higher appreciation than that as well. So when Peel did their first master plan in 2007, some of our investors in our project back in 2007 actually seen about 10 to 12% increase per annum in capital growth. As Azim mentioned earlier on, the Northwest and Northern Powerhouse is generally the hottest place or region in the UK to invest. So property prices are set to increase 25% in the next 5 years compared to just 4% in London. By this calculation, you can see that Manchester is actually surpassing the Northwest property price increase. So one of the main reasons for this is Manchester's population is actually outgrowing the supply of new homes by nearly 15 times. So it all comes back to supply and demand. supply of tenants compared to the actual development of buildings, is about 15 times shortage. So this is one of the main reasons why the rentals are appreciating so fast, and the property prices are increasing at such a high rate. The HS2, so when the high-speed train link and connecting London and Manchester in just 1 hour, a lot of companies such as Savills, KPMG expect this to further increase the population of Manchester. So we'd expect even more businesses to relocate from London or open offices in Manchester, as only just a 1 hour commute from Manchester to London. Manchester Airport is the third busiest airport in the UK and an international airport. And then, as mentioned, 80 of the 100 FTSE 100 companies already have offices in Manchester. So specifically, why you may consider investing in Michigan Towers or Media City. So point one, low ticket price, so just 175 for 1 bedroom in Michigan Towers, which is much lower than the city centre, higher rental yields because of this. You've got the expansion next door, so it's the £1 billion redevelopment of Media City. You've also got the rental guarantee. So for all our projects, we offer 2 years. So the first 2 years, we would guarantee the rental at 6% net. So this would be net of the ground rent, the service charge, and the management fee. So from an investment point of view, you can kind of assume 6% or 6.5% growth during the off-plan period, and then you can actually guarantee, or we can guarantee, that you receive 6% rental for the first 2 years. So coupled with the growth, looking at so it's around 12.5% forecasted return per annum. And you've got the 2 transport links, so as mentioned, the 2 tram stations directly outside the project, and then a 999 years leasehold, which is obviously attractive from an investment point of view for future generations. So included in the property, so this goes for Michigan Towers, Manchester Waters, and Chatham Waters as well. So all the apartments come fully furnished, so the kitchens, the flooring, the beds, the sofas, the fridge, the freezers, the bathrooms, everything's included in our properties. So basically on completion, the properties are ready to be tenanted without the landlords needing to spend any more money on the properties. So a couple of examples of the 2 and the 3 bedroom here as well. And then we'd have only 7 townhouses available, and the townhouses will be on the ground floor, 2 stories in height, and also a private terrace as well. And then here's just an aerial photo showing a few of the different aspects and views from the project. So we have a mixture of water views, city centre views, Media City views, and also on the higher floors, Manchester United Stadium views as well. Example of a city centre view. And then most of the units have some form of a garden courtyard view as well. And then you can see to the left, you can actually see those townhouses and how they're located in the developments. And then a nice illustration showing the final 4 towers in their final forms. So that would be a quick introduction to our latest investment opportunity, Michigan Towers. Any questions, feel free to add into the Q&A box, and then we'll probably best reviewing all the questions for each of the projects at the end. But yeah, one of the main differences between Michigan Towers and Manchester Waters is obviously Michigan Towers, the first tower has just been released. Manchester Waters, we're on the final tower now as well. So a little bit different in that respect in terms of the project lifeline timeline. So Manchester Waters. So Manchester Waters would be 5 towers, so a multi-phase development like Michigan. So we've sold towers 1 to 4 pretty much, and we've just released the final tower. 742 units in total, so a little bit more of a smaller boutique type of development rather than Michigan. So most of the apartments have water views, big balconies, and obviously very large internal sizes as well. So in this project, we'd have studios, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units, similar to Media City. So again, part of an investment program by Peel Holdings, so a 10-year regeneration of the entire Pomona Island, which is a 26 acreage site. Walking distance to Manchester City Centre, it's about 1.5 miles from the city centre. And then the price point with studios is obviously a little bit less as well, so £125,000 for the entry price apartment in this project. So the 5 towers in total, so the 5 towers actually increase in height as well. Directly located on the waterfront, so this is the first 2 towers which are now completed. You can see those units right at the waterfront have the best expansive views of the water and also views of the city centre as well. So the units at the very front will be the O2, O3 positions, and around 850 square foot, 2-bedroom apartment, and over 1,000 square foot for the 3 bedrooms. And then between each of the blocks, we'd also have garden areas and landscaping, which you can just see at the bottom right of the screen on Tower 1. So the towers we'd have available for sale. So Tower D, which is 16 floors. We've just released that tower, which will be the final tower to go on sale. So we have some of the very best waterfront units. So some of those positions, the O2, O3 positions right at the water's edge. And we still have some of those units available. They've been the fastest selling, obviously, as they are right on the waterfront. Tower E would be the tallest tower, so 18 floors in height. So we have around six or seven apartments available. And then the other 3 towers would all be fully sold out as well. The exact location would just be off the city centre. So it's just on Pomona Island, which you can see here. So again, right next to a tram station, there's 70 yards from Pomona tram station, which goes directly in the city centre in about 3 to 4 minutes. So you can obviously walk from the project to the city centre, but also take a very, very short tram directly into the city centre as well. Walking distance to Media City. So it's about a 1 mile difference between Michigan Towers and Manchester Waters. And again, right next to Manchester United Old Trafford Stadium as well. So the location of Manchester Waters, as mentioned, is under a massive investment transformation of the entire Pomona Island. So Peel are investing £700 million into Pomona Island. So you can see on the light blue will be our project. So that'll be Manchester Waters, which is the very first phase, the very first stage of the transformation of Pomona Island. And then you can see with the other colour key codes, the further plans for the remainder of Pomona Island. So, I mean, experts and Peel's vision is for the city centre to actually form Pomona Island as a gateway between Media City and the city centre. So essentially, Pomona Island will form part of the city centre in the next 5 to 10 years. And obviously, we'd expect the property prices to become city centre property prices and absolutely rocket, to be honest, in terms of what they're going to be worth in 5 years compared to what they are today. So just to give an example, some of the larger apartments in Manchester Waters for sale, the price per square foot is only £270 per square foot, which is, absolutely ridiculous to find such low price per square foot anywhere in the UK, never mind a location so close to Manchester city centre and obviously in Manchester as well. So you can also see here a direction west to Media City and east to the city centre as well. So the apartments, so most apartments come with balconies. Those right on the waterfront would have the best views and the best balconies. So a big focus on indoor-outdoor space in Manchester Waters. So the tenant feedback has gone down very well. So Manchester Waters A actually completed tenancy in around 6 weeks. So it's the fastest ever we've ever, from a lettings point of view, actually let a building. So in terms of rental demand, Manchester Waters has surpassed our expectations. And then, yeah, so that would conclude both of the Manchester projects. I mean, we can send across, a team and can send across all the project links, the brochures, the launch videos, the drone videos, etc. And then provide exact apartments that are available, including those O2, O3 waterfront units that are still available. And then any questions or if you need any further information, just feel free to add to the Q&A chat box. So moving on to our Chatham project. So this will be the project southeast of London. So about 36 commute directly from the high-speed train from Chatham Station to London St Pancras. So commuter belt location to central London. So Chatham would be 199 luxury, fully furnished apartments. So as mentioned, all of our apartments come fully furnished with the kitchens, the furniture, and everything the tenant would expect. The accommodation breakdown, so it'd be 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments in Chatham Waters. Every single apartment has a balcony, and I'd say 75% of the units also have some form of a water view as well. So Chatham is located right on the River Medway, which flows into the River Thames as well. So similar to the other projects, Chatham is also under a £650 million regeneration master plan for Peel again. So it's no surprise that each of these projects are incorporated in some form of investment master plan, which goes back to the very first things I mentioned with most of our clients being 80% investors. So as a developer, it's important from our point of view to find opportunities that have the biggest, the largest capital growth opportunities to pass that returns on to our investors. So here's a link to the Chatham Waters master plan, which you can send across. 1, 2, 3 bedroom units as mentioned. So high-speed trains, so it's an hourly train service from Chatham Station to St Pancras, which is 36 to 40 minutes. So during the COVID pandemic, we actually seen from a rental point of view and also a buyer's point of view in terms of people who are purchasing units for self-use, and we've seen a drastic, substantial increase in demand for this project. So we found, as well as Knight Frank and other companies and lettings agencies, we found a lot of young professionals working in mainly financial districts in London, so southeast of the London capital, moving out to London commutable areas such as Chatham, mainly because of most people working from home during the pandemic, wanting something a little bit more value for money. For the same price of a studio in Canary Wharf, for example, you can get the penthouse in Chatham Waters, which is right on the water's edge. So we've seen a massive increase in rental demand during the pandemic for this project, which actually increased the rental yields higher than what we predicted. So for Chatham, again, we offer the 2 years at 6% guaranteed return for the first 2 years. And as this project is completed, you can start receiving those returns straight away, maybe net of the ground rent service charge and the management fee. So amenities, so an on-site gym, car parking, large communal gardens in between both the blocks, as well as overnight security as well. And as the project is completed, there's obviously a stamp duty saving as well. If I just play this drone video, it's the latest drone video we had done on the project. So yeah, I mean, these would be the very best units, which would be on the right side of the North Block, and they'd have the most expansive water views of the ocean here, which you can see. So there's a restaurant right outside the development as well, just gone down with tenants. Yeah, so I'd say aesthetically, from my point of view, I think Chatham Waters You can see from some of those shots in the video, you know, it has some of the best views in any development I've seen. So some of the water views are literally 360-degree views of the ocean. So there'll be 2 blocks in total, so the north block and the south block, both on the water's edge. And the north block will be 15 levels in height, and the south block will be 10 floors in height as well. And then you've got the promenade, which is just on the river, which is where there's going to be some retail, restaurants, and coffee shops as well, and where most of the pedestrians walk across in Chatham. This will be the exact location of Chatham Waters. So as I mentioned, southeast of London, just on the River Medway, which goes into the River Thames. A couple of stills showing Chatham now it's completed. The garden area and the garden communal area between both of the blocks. So some of these apartments here would have both garden and water views, which have been very popular. A photo of the actual gym in Chatham. So the gym in Chatham is enormous, to be honest. It's well over 1,000 square foot and comes fully equipped with treadmills, yoga apparatus, as well as rowing, etc. So in terms of location, so obviously London is one of the main reasons why people like to live in Chatham Waters, a low commute distance and obviously a low price compared to other commutable towns. You've also got a lot of local amenities. So you've got a Asda supermarket, which is one of the largest supermarkets in the UK, just behind the development. You've got Starbucks, Odeon Cinema, and then you've also got Blue Water Shopping Centre. So Blue Water Shopping Centre is one of the largest shopping centres in the entire UK. So more than 300 stores, 50 bars, and tons of restaurants in Blue Water, and that's just a 20-minute drive from the project. We've also got Kent Downs, so we've had a few tenants and a few occupiers who quite like obviously the close proximity to the Cliffs of Dover and the Kent Downs as well. And then you've got access to just under an hour driving distance to the 3 major London airports as well. In terms of pricing, so similar price point to Manchester, which is obviously rare to find for being so close to central London. So 1 bedrooms from £227,500, 2 bedrooms from £275,000, and 3 bedrooms from £367,000. As mentioned, all apartments have balconies and a mixture of different views, with most of the apartments having some form of a water view. We do still have some apartments available with the very best waterfront views, which is seen in the videos, the front right corner units, and all the apartments come with the 2 years at 6% net rental guarantee as well. And obviously, as this project's completed, you can start seeing that turn instantly. This will be a view of a waterfront unit, and we have this apartment available now as well. And then a couple of actual images of the furniture in the project as well. So as I mentioned, fully furnished, beds, bedding, lampshades, wardrobes, all included in the apartments. A illustration of the promenade. This is how Pale envisioned the promenade looking once all the coffee shops and retail and restaurants are open. And then this would be one of the very best views, which would be a front right waterfront position. And then, yeah, that'd be just a very brief introduction to Chatham Waters. As I mentioned, if anyone does have interest in any of the 3 projects, you can visit our website, x1developments.com, and we can send across the brochures and the availability as well, and send them to Azim or Emmanuel, who can share those details with you. But thank you very much for your time. And again, thanks Azim and Emmanuel for inviting me on as a panelist.
All right. Thanks so much, Luis, for this. It's been an interesting session.
Yeah.
And a lot of questions that have been dropped, and we'll be asking them one by one. And the questions will be answered by both of you, Azim and Luis. And I'm going to start with this. And this goes to this goes to Azim, please. Azim, if someone is asking, Daniel is asking, what's the legal process like in the UK if you want to invest in real estate?
Yeah, so it's a very good question, Daniel. So the legal process in the UK, as earlier mentioned, everything's regulated. So whenever a client buys a property, if it's for personal use or buy-to-let use, the whole transaction actually is transacted through a legal solicitor. So the solicitor's role is to act on your behalf between the developer and obviously the client itself. So their role is actually to do the due diligence, to make sure the contracts, the deeds, the regular searches of the property, everything's actually fully completed. So when you buy a property in the UK, you will then act, or you will then assign a solicitor. Many developers will introduce solicitors, or we have a panel of solicitors we can introduce. Their job is to actually act on your behalf, to make sure all the contracts, all the general searches, the deeds are actually fully actually official, and everything's official. Any transactions, any payments, it actually goes through the solicitors. It does not go to the developer. So everything is very protected in that sense. There is a process and a procedure in place with regards to KYC, AML, anti-money laundering, and due diligence. That's generally the benefit of buying in the UK, because obviously it just shows you that there are regulations in place. So yes, the solicitor's role is to actually act on your behalf until the completion of the whole purchase.
Okay, all right, thank you. Louis, are you still there? This question is for you.
Sorry about that. Yeah, the system just went down a second.
All right. Okay, yeah, so there's a question for you too. And the question goes thus: what are the other eyebrow areas in the UK aside from London, Manchester, and Kent that you mentioned earlier? And how does the demand in the property affect real estate pricing over the years? I will ask again. Now, it's three in one question. The first one is, what are the other areas, eyebrow areas in the UK, aside from Manchester or London or Kent, that people can invest in? Then, okay, after investment, so what does the high demand affect real estate pricing over the years?
Okay, so was it the highest growth areas in the UK? Was that the first part?
Eyebrow. What are other eyebrow locations? That is top-notch locations in the UK aside Manchester, London, or Kent? Which other locations in the UK is seen as eyebrow? Is it Canary Wharf? Is Canary Wharf eyebrow? You know, and some other areas like that.
Yeah, I think generally. So, I mean, generally the places where we've seen the most popular over the last 10 years. So, I mean, the Northwest, so Manchester, obviously this is the capital of the Northwest, but other areas such as Liverpool, Leeds, Sheffield, mainly some of the tertiary locations are more popular with student development rather than residential. So you typically find the most capital growth in established areas such as Manchester and London commuter belt, and close to London. And then some of the lesser or tertiary locations such as Sheffield, you can see high rental guarantees or rentals, especially with student, etc. But yeah, typically those locations I've discussed is where we've been focused as an investment developer over the last 12 years.
Okay. Adrian, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, sure. So I think, as Lewis mentioned, the Northwest seems to be the key area where the market seems to be focused for capital and rental appreciation. Other areas we can focus in London, generally within the M25. We have several projects within the M25 through different developments. You'll find the capital appreciation is not as high compared to the Northwest. The rental appreciation is not high, but there are some really good projects. Other areas where we can focus is, I think as also Lewis mentioned, is Liverpool, Leeds, which is part of Yorkshire, Sheffield. We have some really good areas, and the areas that's more attracting at the moment is outskirts of Manchester, like Preston. You quite well too. Generally, I think the powerhouse actually is the north, which is the Northwest. And that's where you will actually see the real appreciation for your money working for you.
Yeah, I think the problem with some, just touching upon that, some of the problem with some of the other lesser locations like Preston, Eccles, etc., is just the pool of tenants as well. So some areas are considered more of a trend and obviously a staple. So, you know, Manchester and London, it was staples, Liverpool, and some of the areas such as Sheffield, Preston, you know, they might be hot or a trend for a couple of years, and then in the future resale might be more difficult to sell than, say, a project in a key location like Manchester.
Okay. Okay. So, and you guys have projects in Liverpool as well?
Yeah, we've done thousands of units in Liverpool over the years. So, I mean, Liverpool, so as a rule of thumb, generally for every 10 inquiries or 10 forms of interest, we have in Manchester, we have around 1 interest in Liverpool. So, you know, of the interest being for Manchester, and then a small portion being for actually Liverpool.
Okay.
But Liverpool is
Thank
definitely
you.
the second city in the northwest behind Manchester.
Okay. All right. So, okay, let's move. There's a comment also from Honorable Olaniwaju. Okay. I think you can remember, right? Okay. It's saying congratulations on the landmark project. That congratulations goes to you, Louis Smith. So yeah, we hope that the foreign investors. All right. We hope that the foreign investors will be assisted to get mortgage loans that are competitive. As in, UK lenders have made it difficult for foreign buyers to access mortgage loans. I don't know if you can comment on that. I will say it again. It's saying that UK lenders recently have made it difficult for foreign buyers to access mortgage loans. That's from Honorable Lanrewaju.
Okay, thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. It's actually the UK market and the UK banking are more favorable for foreign investors to actually buy in the UK. So the UK mortgage market is such a mature market where you have your typical high street banks like HSBC, Lloyds, Nationwide, RBS, Halifax. But then we also have the more private individual lenders, which are also FCA regulated, will actually cater for foreign investors. Now, the banks are fully flexible in the sense of securing mortgages. As a company, majority of our business is actually mortgages and properties. And like I said previously, 60% of our clients are actually our West African clients, where we actually have secured mortgages for each and individual client. We don't really come across many cash buyers, and if we do come across cash buyers, we'll always advise to take the mortgage where you are spreading the risk and spreading the cost of your monthly repayments to make your capital and profit work. So we've never come across any major issues with the UK banks. There's a trend at the moment where we are encouraging clients to open a limited company. The banks are more favorable for clients, for foreign investors, for buy-to-let, to actually purchase under a company. The main reason for that is for tax efficient. Your profits can be offset against your taxes. The other benefit is for CGT and inheritance. So if an individual is buying under a company and they look to buy multiple properties and they decide to gift the properties to their children, then it's more tax efficient. The banks are in the UK are very active and more favorable for clients actually looking to buy in a limited company. Interest rates are generally quite low. If the client actually holds a UK banking or history or a banking history, then the rates are a bit more favorable. But if the client does not have any history or any banking history in the UK, we can still secure you 75% mortgage, which we are currently doing on a weekly and a daily basis. So to the question and to the answer, we've not come across any hurdles. As a company, we are already established and we have a really good network of people that we work with in the UK. And so far, things are moving extremely well. And we are actually offering 75% mortgages for clients based in West Africa.
Okay, sorry. I noticed on Dr. Mafukuyomi asked a question, raising up his hand. So we're going to give him like a 60 seconds to ask his question or make his comment. So Dr. Mafukuyomi, you are on. Kindly unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you, Laulu. I have been on the road. I've been on. Thank you, gentlemen, and I don't know whether there's any lady there. I have just come to enjoy the presentation and look at the opportunities that are present in the UK. Thank you for inviting me. I've been on the road. I've been listening to you right on the express. I think I will send my question to your question and answer section.
Okay, we'll be
But I can assure you I've enjoyed the presentation.
Sure. I appreciate the time, sir. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we proceed. We still have like 2-3 questions left here, and once we have that, we will move on. Okay, and Mr. Suwaniku is asking that, and this goes to Luis, that how much are your flats? How much are your flats? Luis, can you just give a range? 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom.
Yeah, sure. For the 1 bedrooms, 1 bedrooms are around £180,000 in Manchester. 2 bedrooms are around £250,000, and then 3 bedrooms would be from £290,000 to around £390,000. It's just a very, very rough range.
Okay.
And studio apartments are around £120,000.
Oh, all right. Okay. Then it's asking if there is any cost of transferring funds, especially if you're buying from, let's say, Nigeria now, and what are the cost implications in terms of charges now, and Luis?
Yeah, so in regards to charges, if you're looking to buy under construction, the developer will have a certain down payment that you will need to pay. Generally, there's a booking that you will have to pay to secure the unit to take it off live. Then there's a certain percentage that you will normally have to pay to exchange within 28 to 45 days. That is actually paid to the solicitor in the UK who acts on your behalf. The other charges is the legal charges. So the UK solicitors charge anything from £750 to £1,000. We do have some offers with developers where they will assist with contribution towards your legal fees. So that can be approved subject to approval. Other charges are when it comes to the mortgage, then there's a lending charges from the bank, as you would normally pay in any part of the world. There's evaluation charges, which will to conduct a full survey of the property. Then regards to life insurance, that's not mandatory. It's up to you if you decide to take a life insurance. Building insurance is not needed because it's under the NHBC certificate, which is a brand new project. If you're buying a brand new project, so that building insurance is actually covered. So generally the charges is actually split it up through the legal. The solicitors have their own charges regards to when it comes to mortgages. But if you're buying under construction, the only charges that will apply to yourself will be the initial down payment, which you'll have to pay to exchange. Then there's no further charges which will be introduced at the time of completion and handover.
Okay, thank you, Azim. Okay, now this goes back to question goes to Luis again. The same man, Mr. Siwani Kukunle, that asked about the prices. He's not asking specifically about the one in Kent. So what are the prices of your development in Kent?
So the 1 bedrooms in Kent will be about 230,000
I think that should be Chatham, right? That should be Chatham.
Chatham, yeah. Chatham Waters, okay. Yeah. So 1 bedrooms in Chatham Waters are around £230,000. 2 bedrooms are anywhere from £280,000 to £330,000. And then the 3 bedrooms will be from £367,000 up to £490,000 for the very top floor penthouse.
All right. Thank you. I think answered all the questions. I don't know if Luis And do you have any additional information that you need to add?
Sorry, I think I missed that. Sorry for the line. And then I was the question. Sorry.
Okay, I'm saying, do you have additional information you would like to add as well as by your project and development?
Any more additional information?
Yeah,
Any offers?
you would like to share.
Yeah, so I'll just say, you know, we can look, as Ian mentioned, you know, we can look to contribute £1,000 to the legal fees. All the properties come fully furnished, all the furniture is included. The 2 years, 6% net rental guarantee is available for all of the projects. Obviously, the benefit with Chatham is that's completed, so you can start receiving the rental guarantee straight away. So obviously, you don't have to wait for the project to complete. And then, yeah, I mean, we can send across the available apartments and then see, you know, what the very best opportunity and best pricing we can do for the client.
Okay, thank you. Azim, any other comments before we go for this interview?
No, I think generally Lewis has actually explained, and I think Mr. Manu highlighted earlier on, the UK market is a great time to invest as a buy-to-let. It's such a vibrant market at the moment. The timing is absolutely essence. The interest rates are the lowest rates that you can consider, and it's a good place to actually build your property portfolio, especially in the UK or in the current market.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll be right back. Just want to take a short break and be right back.